While downtown Jacksonville is trying to lure more people into the city's core, St. Augustine's downtown is thriving, and some people say it is doing a little too well. Some locals say that there are just too many tourists there. First Coast News' Jessica Clark joins live now with more on this story. Jess?
You know, this has been some of the talk of the town for a little while in St. Augustine. It's kind of coming to a head right now. Tourism, is it too much of a good thing in St. Augustine? There has been a push to advertise St. Augustine as a destination. People said that's great. It has worked, but some locals say it's at their expense.
It's just overwhelming, the amount of people.
Suzanne Forrester is one local who thinks there are too many tourists in St. Augustine now and says it's impacting life for those who live here.
Parking, number one, is a problem.
She takes care of a grandfather in St. Augustine who also says the roads are so congested that you feel like
you're a prisoner in your own home. You can't get out on the weekends as traffic is so bad.
For a few years now, locals have been concerned about the rising number of tourists to St. Augustine. But now it seems to be bubbling to the surface, along with complaints about how the streets are full, the restaurants are crowded, and the slow tourist times of the year are not slow anymore.
We've heard that from a lot of residents.
Richard Goldman is the director of the St. Augustine Visitors and Convention Bureau, which advertises the destination to visitors. Some say the agency has done it a little too well.
I think we overdid it.
Tourism, though, is the largest private industry in St. Johns County. In 2016, tourism created 29,000 jobs and provided a $2.4 billion economic impact.
You have to balance it.
Former St. Augustine Mayor George Gardner even has to plan when to drive through town. And Gardner says the city and tourism experts need to manage traffic and tourists better and spend less on advertising the destination.
If more of that money could be shifted to managing the tourists we have, everyone will be more comfortable.
Goldman also wants to work on solutions, but says
simply pulling up the streets and saying no to visitors, we don't think is the best solution.
As for Forrester,
definitely, I mean, I can see both sides of it. I mean, we are a tourist town and that's how we make our money. But as far as living here, it kind of takes away from our quality of life a little bit.
So we put a post on social media today, and a lot of you responded with your thoughts. Here are just a few. Vicki Ann writes, St. Augustine used to be a quaint town, and now all the destroying of trees and buildings, it's getting to be like Jacksonville. It is sad. She adds the prices of houses is outrageous because of the growth in St. Johns County. Joe says tourists are a fact of life and the mainstay of the economy. The traffic situation, however, needs to be addressed. And Richie says he loves the town and tourism. Tourism gives us income and their activities, which is a boom. Live in the studio, Jessica Clark, First Coast News. Back to you.